Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka BillyIndiana. Today I'm going to do a Kickstarter preview for Lands of Amazement. Thankfully, Button Shy has sent me a preview prototype, and because the Kickstarter project just launched today, in this video I'm going to quickly show you the Kickstarter page and go over that briefly, and then I'm going to give you an instructional playthrough of the game. So if you're curious about Lands of Amazement, stay tuned. All right, so as I said, the Kickstarter just launched today, 10 more games to go. And this is game number 9 in a series of solo games. This one's by Scott Almes in the Simply Solo series. And this Lands of Amazement is built around the idea or the theme of building up amusement parks. But you're starting as a novice and you're going to build up your portfolio, and I'll kind of explain that theme as we look at how the game plays. It is a solo game. It's for ages 8 and up, and it says about 15 minutes. That definitely depends on how good you are at puzzling together these cards, as you'll see when I do the playthrough. So you're designing amusement parks, and you can see a few quotes here. Like I said, it's part of this chain of solo games. You might see a few familiar ones there. I actually did a preview video for Royal Limited as well. There are some videos on here by other content creators with some playthroughs, which I'll also be doing in this video. And you'll see here what the cards are composed of, which I'll also show you in a few minutes. You can see there are download, print and play options. And if you back the Kickstarter, you'll not only get the cards, but you'll get a wallet, which isn't part of the prototype. And because it is a prototype, and I'm sure also the things you see on the Kickstarter page here, there may be some things subject to change. Now, part of this Kickstarter, there is a free expansion, a 3-card expansion called Family Fun. And then also, if you'd like to, you can add on the Restorations expansion, which is a 5-card restoration, introducing Rust, which is represented by these wrenches, into the game. And as has been their tradition, the previous solo series game, in this case Hyperstar Run, now has a couple of extra expansions you can add on. If you liked Hyperstar Run and want to get those expansions, that'll be a part of this project as well. So you can see here the different levels. Level 1 for $1, you can become a member, or if you are a member actually, I think you can take that reward. You can get the print and play for $3. You can get Lands of Amazement with the free Family Fun expansion for $12. You can add on Restorations for a couple more bucks. You can also get the Intro to Button Shy Solo, where you'll get Food Chain Island and Unsurmountable added on. And then you can see the retailer bid there. There's also several other videos by several other content creators. And then again, you can look at add-ons. There's a coupon code here if you're a previous backer, I believe. And then of the add-ons, you can see here, you can get a lot of the previous games and sets of games like Hyperstar Run, as I mentioned earlier, with some new expansions. A nice couple, which I know I haven't played myself, but I know a lot of people really enjoyed. The Last Lighthouse, the Royal Limited, which I did enjoy and have a preview from prior Kickstarter project on my channel. Food Chain Island, Ugly Griffin Inn, Unsurmountable, Fishing Lessons, and so all of those are available as well as add-ons. And you can see the shipping to the US is $5. If you live in one of these other locations, you can see what the shipping would be there. And those things are also just highlighted here in this. But I think that's enough of the page. You can check it out for yourself. As I showed before, today is day 1, if you're watching it the day that I'm posting this video, with 10 more days to go, so you have through August 16th. If you're interested, click on that link in the description down below. But let's get this to the table so you can see how the game plays. Well, as is the case for Button Shy games, there are 18 cards unless you add expansions, and this game has 15 park cards, which we'll look at in a minute, and it has 3 double-sided portfolio cards. And so the way we set up this game, I'm just going to kind of set it up and play it instead of giving an instructions overview. Just kind of explain things as is necessary. So you kind of flip these and mix them, and then just because it's double-sided, and then you just pick one randomly. So we've got Mega Park. All right, and then you just put the others out of the game. Those other 2, they're not going to be necessary. And what this does is it tells you the portfolio that you need to build by making other smaller parks. In the first round, you need to have something that's got this games icon, the purple icon there that looks like a dart, and then toys or gifts. And then you got music or shows, and you got rides, and then you got more gifts, and then you got food, you got your hot dog there. And so we need to do kind of round by round, accomplishing building some smaller parks and achieving these little token symbols, these icons. And then eventually, after 4 rounds, we're going to build this mega park. So that's kind of the big theme. And ideally, we want to score 0 points. If we can do that, we would have no errors, everything perfect. Now, on these park cards, they're all sort of dual part. At the top, it shows you what kind of parks you need to build during the portfolio mode, and then what kind of advantage you can gain if you're able to build it perfectly. So if we were able to build this Wild Heart Eco Tours perfectly, the advantage we gain is we discard the topmost reserved card and then reserve this card instead. And the reserved cards are going to be the ones that are on here. So let's go ahead and finish the rest of the setup, and then that'll help you understand some of the terminology. So I'm just going to shuffle up these park cards a little bit, and then I'm going to put out 4 of them, which will be my deck. And then I'm going to put one of them, which is my first reserved card, just covering the word portfolio. And so I can still see that right now I'm on round 1, and I'm looking for some purple games icons. And then with the remaining 10 cards, you're just going to make 3 decks that are as close to equal as possible. And for now, it's 10 cards, so it's going to be 4 in this one, and then 3 and 3. And once you make them, then you flip them over so you can only see the park of the top one. So in this one, I'm wanting to build this H shape, and if I can build it exactly, I can swap the top deck of the top card of the deck with any card in the discard. And this is my deck, and I'm going to be discarding cards as I build the parks. All right, and then this one got this kind of stair step park here. If I can build that one exactly, I'll get to take the top card of any other stack, these, and use it to create a new stack. And so that would give me more variety to choose from. And then this one, if I can build this sort of weird shape here, I can start a new park with this card if I can build that park exactly. Now, how do I build those parks? Well, when these are in the stacks, I ignore the bottom part. I'm just trying to build the shapes that are on the topmost card in each stack. And I can build any of them at any time, but I have to do it from my deck of 4 cards to begin with. So just shuffle these up. And then I'm going to just put my deck here, and I'm going to flip over the first one. Now I can try to use this to build that or that or that. I'm going to kind of look and see, and I can use this purple portion that's got kind of an L shape on it, or I can do the 2 piece here. And if I'm looking at the best options, if I look at this one, there's kind of an L shape there, but that single might be difficult. If I look at this one, it could work, but it's going to be an overbuild if I do that. So it doesn't really fit any of them terrifically. I guess I could use it as the bottom of this one as well with an L, so let's put it there. Now, once that I've decided I want to use this in this park, I can reorient it. I can change my mind on whether I want to use the purple or the blue part, but I have to continue to keep it as building this park. Then I turn over the next one from my deck. All right, now, actually, that works pretty good. So maybe not. Let's see, can I... Yeah, sometimes it's the right shape, but it's in the wrong order. Because if I put it this way, I'm covering up those, and there's no way really for me to do that. You can overlap the cards, but there's no way for me to quite get this shape, even though this does have 2 L's on it. So that's kind of a disappointment. All right, let's see. And neither one of them really works great. I guess this one might work for the top part there. So we'll reserve that here. This first round's not looking too good. All right, let's see. This one, that's going to be real good for this H, but the problem is I've got 1 reserved for each park. I'm only going to be able to complete 1, and it's going to depend on what this is, and I might not be able to complete any, which would be a disaster. All right, let's see. What can I do? Okay, well, I know I can complete this one because I can make that H, and I would have an extra icon showing here, so I wouldn't get to do the advanced action or the benefit, but I would be able to complete a park. So that's one option. I could put it there. I could continue to try to build this one, but that's not really, no matter how I orient that, I'm not going to really be able to create that park. And then this one, yeah, this, I don't see, I need an elbow shape there. I don't really see, so it looks like really my only option is to make this one and sort of overbuild that H with this extra icon. So I did complete it, I built it, just not perfectly, so I don't get the special advantage. Those are discarded. And then I can't do anything with these. They haven't built anything, so they also just go into the discard. And that's the end of round one. At the end of round one, now I need to reserve one of these and just put it in this reserve stack that has a purple icon on it. And I'm kind of keeping in mind what I want to build down here as my mega park after the 4 rounds. And so I might want to look for shapes that have purple, but also might be able to help me build something here. So there's a purple little L, long L. Long L's maybe could help. There's the T shape. That might be more advantageous. Those are the ones with purple, so these aren't going to help. So I'm going to reserve this T shape one. Whoops. And that's the end of round one. We slide the reserve pile down. I'm on to round two. These are now my discard, and because I was only able to complete 1 park, I only have 4 again. So just shuffle those up. There's my deck. Turn one over. All right. Well, this one could be this corner here. Then I would just need a square, and I wasn't really paying close attention. If you have a good memory and you pay close attention, you might remember, oh, there was a square in this deck. I actually don't remember. I could also maybe there, and then if I get another one, that we talked about that one last time, also could maybe there. Let's go here. Okay, and here's another L shape. Can I make this work? Oh, I need one more level over, don't I? So I need it to be like that. So this would work. I would have the L stair step with just an extra, which means I wouldn't be able to do the top bonus, but I would be able to complete that. I'm just going to go ahead and do it because I need to get some of these parks completed so that I can get more cards. You really need to build up the cards in your discard so that you have more cards to build the parks later. All right, and so now I pull the next one off my deck, and I'm looking to see which can I build here. That one doesn't look very good for that one or that one. Although I guess I could, again, possibly get an L shape there. Yeah, it's got this top part, and maybe if I get a 3. Okay, so there we go. I've got there, and then 3. It's just overbuilt, so haven't built any of them perfectly yet, but I did actually get 2 parks built that time, which means now in my discard pile I've got 6 cards. And I'm going to have to reserve 1, but it does mean I'll be with 5 in my next round to try to complete some of these parks. So that's something you want to try to do. Now I'm looking for green. Those don't have green. That one does. Okay, so I've got these 2 greens. I've got to reserve at least 1, and you can reserve more, but I would say until you get towards the end, you probably don't want to do that. And so I'm thinking, okay, green. I actually need 5 green when I build this. So if we look at the 4 rounds, I'm going to need 1 purple in my mega park, 5 greens, 2 blues, 1 yellow, 1 red. So knowing that I need 5 greens, I think I'm going to, this one has a lot of green on it. The first card that I reserved too, I have no idea what's there because you do that one blind. But this is a harder shape to use, I think. Well, let's do it anyway. Let's reserve that. And I could do more, but I want to have enough cards in this discard. And so now that's the end of round 2, and we move on to round 3. So this round I'm going to need to reserve some yellow and some blue. And it could be on the same card. It could be multiple cards, but I'm going to need some yellow and some blue in my reserve this time. All right. So now I'm looking at my shapes. Let's look at some of these advantages here, because if I could actually build something the way it's designed, maybe I would be able to benefit from that. So this says start a new park with this card. That would be great, because then I'm taking one of these cards and actually getting to start something new. Add this card to an existing park. Do not start a new park. So that's a little trickier. It's possible, though. Shuffle all the stacks together. Redeal the same number of stacks as evenly as possible. So that would just be rearranging these, which probably isn't as much of a benefit. So this one's definitely the one that will help me the most. So let's see. Do we get something that could actually help? Okay, good. So right there, I've got a big portion of that T shape with this blue L. I'm going to need blue. Look at my next card from the deck. All right, so can I rearrange? Oh, there we go. Okay, so I've got it perfectly made, that T-shape, and I probably had some better options earlier. I'm just kind of trying to play quickly to help you see the flow of the game. So you might see something, why didn't you do that? I probably could have. But here I got the actual exact build, and this says start a new park with this card. And so I'm looking now, I get to take this one. These are going to go into my discard. But instead of this joining them in the discard, now I get to start a new park. And I'm going to be using either these 2 hot dogs or this L shape. And the L shape doesn't really help me on that one. Not great for that one either. It's not great for any of these actually for that. Probably the 2 is going to be the most helpful. And if I did it this way, I could build that pretty easily. Actually, it would work for either one. So this says reserve this card, which could be good. It's got blue and it's got green. So let's just work on that and see if maybe we can get that one. So we can take the next one off the deck. Can we make this shape? So, ooh, perfect. So I got a T shape. And if I put that 2 with my T shape, I've recreated this shape exactly. So I get to reserve this card. So, and I remember I needed blue and green, and now I'm adding blue and green there. All right. And so those 2 go on the discard. Now, I've only got 2 stacks, which is kind of a bummer, and you don't re-deal them out. There are some of these, like this one, shuffle all the stacks together, reveal the same number, and then redistribute. So that would actually be good now, because then I could get 3 stacks again. So let's see, what's the first card for my deck showing me? Okay, it's actually pretty good. If I get a little corner, I could possibly build that one. It's probably better for this than that in terms of the ability, because this is just adding a card to an existing park, which wouldn't help me at all. So let's see if I get lucky. If I get a corner here that fits. Okay, I did get a corner. Will it fit? I don't think it will. Can I make it overbuild? Let's see. I don't think I can. Yeah, no, it doesn't quite work. I can't get that little square, and you can't be missing anything. You can overbuild, but you can't underbuild. And I don't think there's any way to use either of these. So like if there was a way, if this was twisted the other way where I could slide it right in there, or let's see, actually, could I? Yeah, I don't think so, because this has to be in that position unless, let's see, could I do something this way? Yeah, it's not gonna, getting those 2 together there is just not gonna work. So failed on that one. So these go into the discard pile, and I still just have those 2. So now I need yellow and blue. Now I know I just put some blue and green in there, so I really want to get a good yellow one. And I don't need that many yellow. If I want, I can remind myself, really, I'll just need that one yellow. So probably the better shape is what I'm thinking about. There's a simple 2, which can be helpful, and a zigzag, which is maybe less helpful. These corners are often helpful, and being in the corner like that might be good, so we'll put that there. I should probably be paying better attention to what this is and haven't been, but all right, so that's the 3rd round, and now I'm on to my last portfolio round, and I'm going to need red or green here, and I do have an extra one in the reserve there, so probably won't need to reserve any more than just the 1. I like to have about 5 or 6 at the most when we get to mega round, because when we build this mega park, you have to use every card that's in reserve, and there has to be at least 1 icon showing from every card. So if you get too many, you can build a shape, but then some are going to be fully covered. So, all right, there's my deck. Here's my card. All right, so I do have this. So if I can get a little corner there, but last time I tried that, I need it to just go right here, which probably isn't going to be a very likely thing that'll happen. So it would have to, yeah, it probably just won't be likely to be able to overlap and create that. If I do this one, yeah, let's put it here and let's see if we can do this one. Says add this card to an existing park. Do not start, but that isn't a great option. Yeah, let me go here. How many cards do I have? Yeah, I could use 3 here maybe to get that, because that would expand my stacks out, which might help. All right, this one. All right, so if I go like that, I can't use the purple and the blue. I can only use one or the other. So if I'm building and I'm ignoring these, if I'm using the blue, and that does get everything but the last 2 there. Build this one. That can I stretch it this way? There's that. Because you can rearrange them, you just can't. Let's see. Oh, I'm 1 off, aren't I? I need 1 more in there. Can I do it this way? No. Let's see. Can I do it this way? And then there we go. I've overbuilt, but I do have the right shape. So at least I'm building the park and getting these cards out. Right. Now I've just got 2. Got 3 cards out here. I'm really hoping I can build one. So we turn 1 over. Got this L shape, and I've got this little 2 here. The L shape doesn't really gonna help me on that one. It's possible that it could help me here, but very unlikely. I would need a zigzag that fit just right. So yeah, I don't think, no way I can get that quite built, I don't think, because you gotta, yeah, oh, nope, not quite. Yeah, if this one could overlap there, but just the way the cards go doesn't quite work. So unfortunately, not gonna be able to get that one done either. So I've just finished round 4, and there's a couple things we need to do now. So I need to reserve a card with red and green, a card with red and green, or 2 cards, one with red and one green. And I really don't want to do 2 cards if I can help it, but none of them have both red and green. So this was the only one with green, so we're doing that one. And I only need the 1 red. I like the T shape. Let's go with that one. I may have too many cards here now. These are out of the game. Now in basic mode, I just now immediately take these reserve cards. I need to use all of them to build this shape out, and I want to try to build it exactly. In this case, I can have some missing spaces. When you're building these in the portfolio round, you can't have any missing spaces. You can only overbuild. Here you can have missing spaces and you can overbuild, but there's penalties for that. You get point penalties and you're trying to score 0. So you don't want those penalties. But the other thing is if you play on expert mode, any of these cards that you didn't build are penalties. So if I'm playing expert mode, I'm already at a 4 score. And if you look at the scoring mode here, 0 is a visionary. If you're 1 or 2, you're an imaginative designer. 3 to 5 is capable planner, and 6 is failure. 6 or higher is failure. So I would already be at 4 in expert mode, which is pretty bad. All right, we'll just say we're not doing expert mode. All right, now let's see if I can build this. And on this case, you don't pull them one at a time. Once you're in this mega mode, you're just trying to build this whole thing, but I have to have 1 purple, 5 green, 2 blue, 1 yellow, and 1 red showing when I build it. And so, like I said, I probably have too many cards. Reserving that 1 card might have backfired on me. It's going to be tricky. All right, so I don't need very many red, but I need a lot of green. So let me see, how can I get those greens going? So let's see if we can just start at the top here. And let's see, okay, so there we go. We've got quite a bit of green. And I've got this top built a little bit out. The next thing I need the most of is blue. I just need 2 blue. So if we go here, now I've got 3 and 5. So those 2 rows are good, and I actually have this one good as well. All right, this is going to be where it gets tricky because I'm going to need cards to go this way. And I'm going to need cards to angle down. So let's see. If I can get this one here, that would be, oh no, it needs to be the other way. Can I get this one here? Oh, this doesn't matter. Okay. Gonna need to have something in there that is 3 wide. So this one could work. Oh, but that's gotta, this is the part that's so hard to get them where they don't overlap other cards. So I'm probably gonna have to start over here unless, let's see, can I do it another way? Let's see, if I put this here, just need 1 more. Put this here. Yeah, now I may be running out of cards. Maybe I was mistaken to think that I had too many. All right. So now I've got the 3. I've got 5. I've got 5. Oh, this is 2. That's down too far. So, yeah, hold on. I only needed the 2 blue. So if we go there, I was 1 row off. Okay. Oof. Yeah, this is going to be tough. All right, I'll keep working at it, but then I may just like fast forward because I don't want you to sit here and watch me wrestle with this. I'm clearly not great at this game. So there we go. It didn't take me as long as I thought, but it's not a great result. It is the shape. I've got 3, 5, 5, and then 1, 1, 1. But I didn't manage to get my red showing. I didn't manage to get my yellow showing. And I have an overbuild teddy bear here. So this would be a score of 3, which, again, if I look at the score, that is a capable planner. But if I was in expert mode, I would also have to add these 4, which is a 7, which puts me in failure. So you can kind of see how that goes. Now, if I fiddled around with this longer, I might have been able to get a red or a yellow showing, but I didn't want to spend too much time on it. Hopefully the preview playthrough kind of shows you how the game works and whether this would be the kind of game you would enjoy. If you have any questions, you can leave those in the comments below. And like I said, the link for the Kickstarter page is in the description, so check it out quickly if you think this game might be one you're interested in. As always, thanks for watching. This is BillyIndiana, signing off.